Right, we are live, guys. We are live. We are live. Apologies, everyone. Let's just get the camera up. I think that's probably a lot better. Apologies, but yeah, it is Old Man G here, back again for another match reaction, guys. And yeah, I mean, it's a point. It is a point, guys. It is a point. It is a point. It's a point. It's a point. What can I say? It was a fantastic finish by Bruno Fernandes. Really, really happy with that goal. Um, but in all honesty, it was maybe slightly better performance than we usually are. But if we before we get into it, guys, I don't forget to try to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter. We are United X. Smash that like button, etc., etc. Apologies for not being live for quite some time, actually. So been really, really busy with work and different things. And shout out to those who are watching non-live. But yeah, it, it, it's. I'll be honest, guys. It's been quite a challenge watching Manchester United these days. Disappointing exit to the Fulham game. I know we got to penalties, but we were at home. You know, back in the day, you would expect a. I saw the draw and I was like, listen, we've got this. It's Fulham. We've done okay at Fulham. We should be able to win. They can't score that many goals, and yet somehow we find ourselves out of the FA Cup. Um, this has been, at least for me anyway, one of the worst seasons I've ever experienced as a Manchester United fan. And to make matters worse, I just struggle to watch this team. I really, really, even this game today, I think we played better. You know, I mean, you got to shout out. I got to make honorable mentions, obviously, to Bruno Fernandes's goal. I think that was brilliant. Um, you got to shout out to Hayden as well, who came on. Good to see Collier back as well. Happy about that. I think Heaven was really solid at the back. So that was obviously good to sort of see. But you know, this team that you see here can't be the future. Hoyland again, when he came on, frustrating. Xerxes for me, okay, but again, he's not. We just don't have a number nine. We just don't. And you know, similar mistakes with Bruno and Casemiro to get that goal. Who's dropping deep? Who's coming back in to actually track Rice? We've conceded so many goals from that position. Literally that position. No one tracking, and then pop just out of the box. You know, nothing could be done because, quite frankly, yes, I think a lot of people say, you know, we had our chances, but realistically, big up Rasmus in the chat. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Long time no see. Like I said, for me, we should have humbled those serial. Yeah, we should have. That's why I said we should in the tires. We should have won. We United should have won today, because quite frankly, Arsenal didn't play. To me, anyway, they didn't play like a team that was still fighting for the title. They played like a team that had given up effectively, which I think is quite sad, given sitting what Arsenal have supposedly an Arsenal fan supposedly said they were going to do. Like it's just crazy how they just didn't fight for it. I mean, they can't complain about injuries and attacking options because we've basically had next to nothing in terms of that quality. Ahmad, quite frankly, was our go-to guy, and he's out injured. It is what it is. So we are where we are. But overall, I think the second half was much better. I think United did threaten more than Arsenal. I think obviously Declan Rice's goal, we discussed about the Bruno and Casemiro. I would argue probably Casemiro should do a lot better in tracking Rice. Nothing Onana can do about that goal. But again, you know, we're talking about these fine margins where it's one goal here, it's another goal here. It's like, hang on a minute, like, why aren't we scoring more? You know, I know people want to blame Onana and say Onana's not good, etc. But the reality is the amount of matches that we've lost or we've lost by one goal already this season because we've just not been good enough to see teams. Sociedad, we barely, aside from against a few teams where Ahmad was involved, we barely score a goal a game. I think if you look at the table, actually, and if we look at the Premier League table today, let's just have a look. It's here. You know, obviously Arsenal, no chance. I mean, Liverpool won the title, and annoyingly, it is what it is. United have 34 points. I think any comment that United were going to get relegated is ironic enough. It's the same number of points as Spurs. Any thoughts that United are going to get relegated is not happening. We can't even get into Europe. I mean, top 7, maybe 8 might be Europe, and we're 10 points behind 8th, 10 points behind 9th, 8 points, 34. 8 points behind 10th. I don't think United are going to finish in the top 10 this season. That's an embarrassment. Obviously, we're not going to get relegated because, as you can see, Ipswich have 17 points, and we've got more than double that. Sorry. That's not going to happen. But look at this. -6 GD. -6 goal difference. We've scored 30 goals for, so 34 goals in 20 games. So that is effectively just over a goal a game. Just over a goal a game. 1.023 or something like that, which is terrible, especially when you consider that Spurs have actually scored 55 goals. You look at here, and then, okay, most teams below us, Wolves have scored more goals than we have. I don't want to be a downer because I'm glad that we kept our record, and I'm glad that we still have the points, but it's just annoying that this is basically the level of Manchester United right now. Like, I have to be happy that we just about survived the point towards the end, because this Manchester United side is building. And like I said, I hope that he can change this around, but I've yet to see, at least in my opinion, anything from Amorim right now to suggest that he can change it around. I've yet to see anything. Maybe you guys can maybe you can prove me wrong. Maybe you can prove me wrong. Maybe you can tell me, you know what? Aaron's got a plan. It's all good. Just wait and see. Trust the process, etc. And I hope that I'm right. I hope that you guys are right. I hope you guys are right. But I don't know. I have my doubts. Improvements is we get less shots against us than we did. That is true. That is true. But that's because we're playing with a back 3. At times a back 5. Like, if we're playing with almost like a back 5 at times, because Dallo and Matswari are a lot more defensive as fullbacks. They're way, way, way more defensive as fullbacks than so at times it feels like, so I'd be surprised. If anything, it's more annoying that we still concede so many goals, because we're playing a back 3, at times a back 5, because of how defensive Dallo and Matswari can be when they don't go forward. It's not like they're bombing forward all the time, and yet we're still conceding goals. Like the goal today, we've got enough players back. We have enough players back, but we still conceded. Why? Because Casemiro in this instance wasn't switched on, didn't track Rice. It is what it is. I get more annoyed when it's fair enough if people aren't back, but it's a different story when you have a situation where literally you've got enough players that are back, are behind defending, and yet no one's actually doing their job properly. If anything, that is far, far, far more frustrating, in my opinion. Far more frustrating. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, it's, we don't concede chances, but we're not scoring enough goals. So I hope, for me, this summer, you've got to solve the attacking problem. The attack is not good enough. And the fact that we don't have any attacking options, you let Rashford go, you let Anthony go, you don't think they're good enough, you want them to be sold. Okay, well, I mean, people said that, Sancho et al. McTominay wasn't good enough, so yeah, there is not really much else to be said, to be honest. I mean, quickly going through the stats of the game, I mean, Arsenal 17 shots to United's 10. There you go, it says a lot, but both had the same amount on target. Arsenal had more possession. than United. More completed passes, more pass accuracy. United's pass accuracy at home was shocking. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. 75% pass accuracy at home. That tells you a lot about Manchester United currently. Can't even pass the ball properly. Fouls, Arsenal more to 8, 0 yellow cards, offsides 1, and 9 corners to 2. And there you go. Dallo should stay in our own half whenever play because he's so used with his deliveries and his back post next opposition is irritating. Yeah. For me, you can already see that Dogu, I think Dogu with time could certainly surpass what Dallo's doing. Dogu feels to me like an actual, and when we missed it, we missed him. He was unlucky for the red. I don't think it's his fault, but you could see we missed him. Dogu, literally, Dogu's, it's just mentality. Dogu's desire all the time is to go forward. Every time he goes forward, he puts in a cross. Every single time I watch Dogu, I don't know the amount of crosses that we put in went up exponentially when Dogu's on the field. He goes up, cross. Now, his cross accuracy could be better, but he puts them in. And once he puts them in, the second issue that we have is that we don't actually have players in the box or attackers that anticipate that. Højlund today, there was a chance where, I think he was through. I think Casemiro intercepted. He's through on goal. And all he needs to do as a striker is take a touch so that it's away from Declan Rice. The only way that Declan Rice can get the ball is if he goes through Højlund. And then it's a penalty and probably last man. And Arsenal probably go down to 10 men and we have a penalty, potentially. Instead, the touch he takes is right in front of him. Declan Rice can go through his legs, tackle the ball, it's gone. It's really, really sad to me what has happened to Højlund. It really is. It's really, really, really sad. But at the same time, I can't, unlike other players, Højlund cost 72 million. A player that didn't score that many goals in Serie A, he cost 72 million. So it's reasonable for me to have higher expectations of Højlund than I have of Ahmad or Garnacho or Xerxes, though people will boo him. But at the end of the day, Xerxes only cost us 40 million, 30 million, something like that. Definitely not more than 50 million. And Xerxes, quite frankly, is technically better than. I can see a place for Xerxes in this team. Probably ideally as a number 10. I think Xerxes could work because Xerxes could work. And for me, he's a good support striker. He's a support striker. He's not a striker. We need an actual striker. And then you can let Eriksen go and you can play Xerxes behind the designated striker, and he can help link up play, etc. There's a job, there's a role for Xerxes in this team. But Højlund, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I genuinely honestly don't know. Let's quickly do the player ratings because I've got to bounce. Got to make this a quick one. Let's quickly go. Onana, I'll give Onana an average 6. I think that nothing you can do about the goal. Decent saves today, especially that block at the near post from I think it was Martinelli. So nothing spectacular, but yeah, for me, Onana, I'll give him a 6. De Ligt, yeah, I think overall the defense was pretty solid today. I'll give De Ligt a 7. I think Lindelof, who now is, I don't know, presumably playing for a move because he was been far away from this team and then somehow is now in the team. Because I don't know whether is it because Maguire's injured because I don't see Maguire on the bench, so maybe Maguire's out. And obviously you now need to bring in Heaven, who's the centre back, because if you only have looking at the centre backs, you only have Yoro, Lindelof, and De Ligt. And Yoro, you need to manage because he's had long-term injury and different things. So yeah, it makes sense. But Heaven, and we'll talk about him later, I think was solid. Lindelof, I'll give a 6.5. Solid performance. Yoro, likewise, before he got subbed. Bruno, I'll give Bruno Fernandes man the match pretty just for that goal. I don't think for me there was really a standout player in this game aside from him and Heaven, who I think had a good debut at centre back. Matsuari, I'll give. Matsuari was okay. He had a few good chances, good positions bombing up. I'll give Matsuari probably a 6.5. Dallo, Dallo a 5.5, I think. I won't give him below a 5, but I really don't know what he. I don't know with Dallo for me. I really don't know. Lemon, I don't know. Casemiro, I'm going to give Casemiro a 5. Is that harsh? Okay, let me give it. Dallo was 6 and Casemiro 6. I think Casemiro did play better today. I think overall, but he was, at least in my opinion, at fault for that goal. He has to track the runner, and he notoriously doesn't do that. It is what it is. But it looks like he's probably going to be with us for a while. He doesn't want to leave United. He's settled, so there you go. Garnacho had a better game today. There were, again, a few times should have passed, but I give him a 6.5. Ericsson, don't think was that effective, to be honest. Probably give him an average 6. And Xerxes, likewise, I think I'll give him an average 6. As far as the subs go, Højlund for me, it's a 5, 5.5. I didn't really affect things. He got into opportunities, but he's a number 9 and he's 72 million. He's got to do better. Heaven, on the other hand, I think had a really good debut as a centre back. Really, really good. Really good. And I think we can hopefully, and this was against Arsenal, so hopefully we can rely on him. Because if Maguire's injured now, because he's not on the bench, we've got only 3. We now only have 3 fit centre backs now: Yoro, Lindelof, and De Ligt. And Lindelof picks up injuries, and Yoro, so we're now in emergency territory. So you need Aiden Heaven to come in now. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. So he looks comfortable, and I was happy for that because we're going to need him for the rest of a couple of games. Although, at the end of the day, I think that it's Europa League or bust. And if we get knocked out of the Europa League by Real Sociedad, I'll probably have an emergency my live season stream and go, the season is over officially. The season will officially be over in March. That's it, because there's nothing else you want to pay from the league. There's no motivation. The players won't be motivated. Even if they're paying that much, they won't be. So, yeah, we need to beat Real Sociedad. That penalty was dodgy, but we should have scored more goals, and we didn't, and that's our fault. Collier, Collier gave an average 6, but it's good to see him back. I think we needed him, and I think that hopefully he can get. So obviously Agate's not here. Maybe he's injured as well. It's not ideal, but we need probably a bit more pace. Like if Collier, for example, is where Casemiro was, you never know. Maybe that we don't concede that goal. So for me, you've got to get Collier in. When we look at the next couple of matches for Manchester United before we round up, obviously you've got the second leg at Real Sociedad on Thursday. That's going to be a big game. That is going to be a very, very, very big game, and we'll do a live stream of that. It's going to be big. Leicester City away, which will hopefully be a win. And then you've got Forest away, which will be an L because of how bad United are. City, you never know, it's a derby. And then you've got Newcastle away, which I'll predict this, I'll be honest. This is probably going to be an L, maybe a win, L, draw. maybe draw, could be a win and an L. And that's basically the end of the season for you guys. The season is reliant on this game here. We need to progress in the Europa League. We need to, because and I'm sorry, I'm saying part of this because I didn't actually react to Europa League actually before, but when you look at the teams that are left, let's have just a quick look. You know, we already played and beat likes of SCB, although they're out. Rangers, obviously. Spurs might be going out themselves, which was good. You know, so when you look at who's left, you know, Lyon, Rangers, AZ, Border Glimmet, Lazio, obviously, Eintracht Frankfurt. You know, Roma beat Athletic Club. You know, and Athletic Club finished top, I think, if I recall. So the point I'm trying to make is that we need to beat Sociedad because we still have a chance as good as anyone, especially if Spurs are out, of winning this Europa League. If we can't beat Sociedad, we shouldn't even be here. We shouldn't even be here. Last comment, Raul says, yep, Heaven played well. He did. And the thing is, like I said, Raul, he needs to play well. Because if it's true that Maguire's injured and all these players are injured, like what choice do we have? You know, our only fit centre backs currently are Euro, Lindelof, and De Ligt. And Lindelof's fitness is unreliable. So this was the perfect time, to be honest, to get Heaven involved. He looked good. And I expect him to play more game time. In fact, I'd like to see him, maybe against Sociedad might be too much, but I'd like to see him start away against Leicester. The league is done. So, you know, you might as well. You might as well. Right. Let us go back. So, yeah, it's going to be this game, guys. This is the key. This is the key. As to Rasmus, yeah, I don't know what to say about Rasmus. All I'll say is that we've had a lot of number 9s on the years. I know he's young, but, you know, when you imagine all the criticism that Lukaku got and Cavani got and Ronaldo got and all his number 9s got, the reality is that all those 9s got criticism, but they still scored a considerable amount of goals in double digits. It's scary that in the United number 9, I don't think has double-digit goals this season. I cannot remember last time Rasmus scored, and he is Manchester United's number 9. That's scary, and that is why, without a doubt, the priority this summer has to be a number 9. It has to be. It has to be 0 goals in 20 exactly. That is United's number 9. I know some players don't play number 9s, but he is the number 9. That's scary. That is scary. I'll be honest, for me, he needs to go out on loan. That's it. You know, he needs to go out on loan. You know, send him back to the Farmers League. Well, I mean, he can go back to Serie A. Serie A will take him. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Serie A clubs that will go and take him. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Serie A clubs. They seem to like taking ex-United players, so I think they would. I don't think we'll get the money we paid for him, but there'll definitely be players that will take him. That guy's selection has been into at times seem like because it's a different subject. Well, yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. It's weird, but I assume that's got to be confidence. I assume that's got to be confidence. I don't know, because last season, you know, I could see the potential there. I could see it. You know, 15 goals in competitions. You know, I could see it, but he's just regressed massively. And some of it you could say is service, but when he has had the opportunities, it's just not been there. And then the thing is, if he doesn't have it, like Xerxes at least offers something because of he's technical, you know. So he offers something to the team. So I think a lot of people now appreciate Xerxes because he offers something. I still think we could do better, but he offers something at least. You know, you know, we used to say, oh, well, Højlund's finishing is better than Xerxes, but he's not finishing at all. So what does he actually offer that's better than Xerxes? You know, Xerxes will look good as a second. Yeah, well, exactly. Like, for me, what I want to see is if we get an actual number 9, an Osimhen, or whoever it is as number 9, and see Xerxes play off this guy, then it'd be interesting. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. You know, yeah, he would do well on a team like Liverpool. The only thing I think with me is Xerxes is that he doesn't have the pace. I think that he's still a young kid. He needs to improve his fitness. We need to get more pace. He could be quicker. He should be quicker, you know. But there is a player there. There is a player there, definitely. Yeah, Xerxes 10, Osimhen 9. Exactly, yeah, something like that. You know, you let Eriksen go because he's old. You play Xerxes where Eriksen would be in that sort of 10-ish sort of role. Because Bruno is not a 10. It's as simple as that. He's not. And then you basically just sort of take things from there. That's what I would say. But, you know, who knows? There's a player there. There is a player there. But we are a very dysfunctional team. We still have an imbalanced midfield, and the fullback situation, it just isn't working. At least with Matswari and Dalot, especially Dalot. Dorgu, on the other hand, there's potential there, but we need more than potential. And finally, Rasmus' comment, as we got to say, if we don't win Europa without UCL getting in touch with you, well, I do think that someone like Osimhen might still come. I think Osimhen, yeah. I do think that it depends. It depends, is what I'm saying. Because there are some players, because of the salary and because of it's United, that would still come. So, like I said, I think someone like Osimhen would come. But someone like Gyökeres, probably not. Probably not. And then you have to sell. But that's not going to be a problem, I don't think. But yeah, Osimhen, I think, but I'm struggling to think of others. I mean, you're now looking at what I would argue like other Premier League teams. So, you know, United were linked with Mateta from Crystal Palace. You know, so you're looking at like mid to lower table teams. You know, you're looking at Mateta from Palace. You're looking at those number 9s like from Fulham, etc. You're looking at those guys. You know, you're looking at, you know, bottom half of Syria, bottom half of La Liga to see what you can get. And to be fair, it might work. You know, quite frankly, Igalo, when we said at the time, it wasn't great, but I would take the Igalo that we had under Oli now in this team. I'll be frank about it. If Igalo was fit and he was playing, I'd take him now. He's certainly better. He's certainly a better number 9 than Rasmus. Like we just got used to it. Like Igalo was a better number 9 than Rasmus has been this season, and that's saying something. Yep, it's Europa or bust. Europa or bust. If we don't, then you know. And I know you're right to avoid relegation. Right? I know we should forget it, but it's more just the fact that the financial implications. You know, you're knocked out of the round of 16, so you don't get the money from this season, the Europa League, and then Europe next season. The having to sell before you buy, it's going to be tricky. Yeah, what do you think of the links to Mateta? Yeah. Yeah. If that's who the only striker we can get, then we have to get him. Like we can't play without at least an average number 9 now. We can't. You know, so maybe Mateta is the answer. I'd like to see other options, but what choice do United have right now, especially if we don't get any European football? No UCL would be a tough sell. Exactly. Yeah, I would. You know, Val. I would. I take CR7 now over Rasmus right now. I would take CR7 now over Rasmus. It's actually that bad that I actually would take CR7 now. Because even though Ronaldo is 40, I know Ronaldo would get more than 1 goal in 20 games. I know as bad as he is, I know CR7 would get at least 1 goal in 20 games. There's no way Ronaldo does that. Would you take Lewandowski in his career for 1 or 2 seasons? Seems like we've done for most senior strikers. Maybe. But I would imagine Lewandowski would want to still feel like he wants to play in Europe. So if I don't know whether he'd be happy playing no European football. That's the only thing. And also, I don't think Barcelona, as far as I'm aware, don't have another number 9. So unless Barcelona go out and get a number 9, I don't know why they would let Lewandowski go straight away. He's quite old, but even still, you know, Barca would have to get another number 9 first, I think, before they let Lewandowski go. But that's just my 2 cents. Right, guys, I've got to bounce, but it was great. Great show, guys. We'll be live. We'll do a live watch along for the Sociedad game because that is basically the season break or bust. It really, really is. Harry Kane will come back to the Prem. I would take him, but he's not come to United, not without any UCL football. Kane wants trophies now, and he's not coming to a United team unless we pay him mega bucks. And even then, I'm not sure. And Spurs have, I think, first refusal, I think, as well. So that makes things tricky. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you're new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, X, smash the notification button. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a nice day, guys, and cheers. Peace, peace, peace.